It's just another slop fest, and a lot to talk about in that regard as it relates to this team. Obviously, coming off of a disappointing loss to the Lakers, the Knicks come out against the Clippers, and the first plays, OG attacks the rim, gets stuffed by the rim. Clippers off to the races. They knock down a three. Next possession, I believe, was like a Knick turnover. Clippers off to the races. They knocked down a three. Look, give credit where credit is due. I thought the Clippers were very crisp in terms of their ball movement, their execution, their screening. I mean, running the Knicks raggedy, especially considering the Knicks had played the night before. I thought Ty Lue and the Clippers and Jeff Van Gundy, their game plan, I thought it was excellent. Just very much spreading the Knicks around, man. The ball is moving from one end of the court to the other. Kawhi Leonard setting a really good tone for the I was about to say the Spurs, for the Clippers, and it's one of those nights where he's having a fantastic year, one of the best of his career, an all-star year, obviously, and one of those where, I mean, he was cooking OG. You know, when OG's getting cooked, you know you're having a great night. But with Kawhi Leonard, his physical capabilities, I mean, being able to, like I said, there's very few guys that can move OG off his spots. I mean, Kawhi Leonard was moving him off his spots, cooking him with the arsenal. So it got to a point where the Knicks had to put two on the ball with OG guarding Kawhi Leonard. That's how bad it was. That's how much of a threat Kawhi Leonard was out there tonight, that even with your best defender and all defensive player, you had to put two on the ball to help him. But in the end, it crushed the Knicks because they not only were not locked in on their rotations mentally, also physically very late in running guys off the three-point line. Look, they went in an all-out, sell-out blitz to take the ball out of Kawhi Leonard's hands late in that game. But it ended up killing him. And the reason I say that is because despite the late start, the Knicks were able to claw back in the game in the third quarter. They came out into the third quarter down, I believe, 9 points. And look, the third quarter was more of the same, a lot of the same garbage, a lot of the same sloppy play, but they got a spirited effort. You know, they went down double digits in that third with the starting five, and I put out there, I was like, this whole five can sit down. This whole starting five can sit down. Nevertheless, they take the timeout. This Mike Brown comes back out with Jalen Brunson, Landry Shamet, it was Mo Diawara out there, Huck Porty, and I believe the fourth was I think it was most likely OG was the fourth. And that squad got it going. They got the Knicks out to a good run and really closed the gap. I thought that squad played very good, very well. Then in the fourth quarter, Darius Garland starts going again. And this is a thing where it's like, look, yeah, the Knicks cut it to single digits and they made it very interesting here, but it is almost like that fake comeback in that you have to exert a lot of energy to come back in these games. On both ends of the floor, you got to exert a lot of energy, and you just played the night before. So you've got to play a perfect game to execute these comebacks, especially the way that the Clippers were consistently killing the Knicks and quelling their momentum every chance, every time they try to get it. Clippers were absolutely picking the Knicks apart. So it's like you can't just keep leaning on the comeback well all the time, especially when the other team is kicking your ass the entire night. You got to start out setting a tone. And then, yeah, it's a game of runs. You may go down a little bit, but at least you got yourself off to a good start. Now you got to double your efforts just to get back to the game and just to even tie the game and maybe win it. But the Clippers were good tonight. Give them credit. And it wasn't just Kawhi. You know, Darius Garland, excellent from a shot creation standpoint. Killed them. Cooking the Nets. And then, who came off the bench? An old Knicks nemesis, Benedict Mathurin. Boy, I better put some respect on his name. I don't know why the Pacers traded him. Because he was cooking, bodying Landry Shamet the entire night. Dragged his ass across the bar. Yeah, 28 points for Benedict Mathurin. I think that was that the team high for the Clippers off the bench. Oh, Kawhi had 29. He had 28 from Mathurin off the bench. 9 to 20 from the field. killing them. That's what he does, man. He's a ferocious competitor, a ferocious athlete, and that's the thing as well. Was like when the Knicks were trying to get back into this game, the Clippers beat him to the 50-50 balls. Derrick Jones Jr., tremendous, and I give him a lot of credit too, man, because he's really turned from just a high flyer athlete to a really good role player in the last, say, 5 years with Dallas and with now with the Clippers. He's turned into a hell of a good role player that has Derrick Jones Jr. But then he killed the Knicks later on in this game. He goes 4-7 from downtown, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Brook Lopez, 3 of 5 from downtown. Garland, I mentioned, killed him, but those guys, their role players started to emerge because the Knicks had to give so much attention to Kawhi Leonard to try to take the ball out of his hands. And they got killed everywhere else. Lost the rebounding battle. Oh, did they? No, I'm bugging out. No, they won the rebounding battle by a ton, but it just seemed like, especially in those key moments, like the Clippers were the ones that got to some of those 50-50 balls, man, and not hustle the Knicks. But he had 19 turnovers in the loss against the Lakers. He had 20 turnovers again tonight against the Clippers. Sloppy. Incredibly sloppy turnovers by the Knicks tonight. You're trying to come back in a game. You just can't have that. 4 for OG. 3 for Towns. 3 for Hart. 3 for Brunson. 2 for Mo. 2 for Shamet. I mean, just brutal turnovers tonight. Yeah, Arthur led to 24 points. You had 2 winnable games, and give credit to the 2 teams. The 2 LA teams, I thought, played at their best. You still had chances to win this game, even though the Knicks looked terrible in both of those games. So this should be a bulletin board, a film type of game. And lessons learned. Turnover party, man. Like, what's going on? Throwing the ball all over the place. Into nowhere. I saw on MSG, they were trying to look at that last that Derrick Jones Jr. block on Jalen Brunson. There was some travesty type of foul. No, that was a clean block. He shut him down. So, opportunity lost. Let's get to the key stats of the night, man. Brought to you by Prize Picks. Knicks did shoot 51% from the field, 46% for the Clippers. You see this 35% for the Knicks from 3, but, I mean, they had to work their way up to get there because they were bricking early in this game, especially from 3. They were below 30 going into the half. Clippers shoot 46% from 3. From the free throw line, 85% for the Clippers, 75% for the Knicks. They didn't have Mitch out there. You still missed 4 free throws. Knicks did dominate on the boards, 51-36, including 14 offensive rebounds. Okay. All right. Assist battle, 32-25. Knicks did win that. But here we go. The turnovers. And this was my key stat of the night, man. 20 turnovers leading to 24 Clipper points. Knicks won the points in the paint 58-46. And largest lead of the night was 1 for the Knicks, 15 for the Clippers. Clippers dominated this one. But that was my key stat, man. The turnovers, man. 20 points to 20 turnovers to 24 Knick points. Just can't win that way, man. You're stumbling and bumbling. That's a huge Achilles heel for the Knicks. Key stats tonight brought to you guys by Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app and use our code KFTV to get $50 in bonus lineups when you bet your first $5 lineup. to play Prize Picks, it's pretty simple. You pick between 2 to 6 players, and you choose whether or not they're going to do more or less on a given stat projection that's Prize Picks has outlined on the night. You have a ton of sports you can play. You have World Baseball Classic. You have basketball right now. Baseball will be MLB baseball will be starting up soon, and then a ton of stats that you can choose from. I mean, since Prize Picks has started with us years ago, their stats their stat options have grown in a major way. So you have a lot of options to choose from. Once again, use our code KFTV to get $50 in bonus lineups when you play a $5 lineup. Shout out to Prize Picks. And we'll close with the rhyme animal, Chuck D, man. Chuck, how you feeling, man? Do we have Chuck?
Yo.
Yes, sir.
Sorry about that. I know it's running late.
No, all good.
20 turnovers. Come on, man. Really?
20 turnovers, man. Brutal.
Come on, man.
Brutal.
Hey, listen. You know what I think? First of all, these cats are tired of wintertime. I'm giving real talk here. I know they're all pros. Cats is tired. This is a beat-down wintertime. They went out and got 4 days of L.A.?
Yeah, 5 games in 7 days or something like that.
Yeah. Out looking at that out there compared to what they've been, going through. I know they've been traveling to cities and they got all the carte blanche and all that, man. But you get come on, man. You in Southern California after all that, after a tough winter kicking your tail, traveling, they got those 4 days in L.A. and it was hard to motivate that Laker game and in the beginning of that Clipper game. Something wasn't there in the initial kick. And I'm a person, I'll tell you straight out, I believe that this team has a playoff switch. I hear people talking about, you can't just switch it on. These cats are pros, and they're not rookies. And they're sort of like quasi-vets. So I believe the Knicks have a playoff switch they turn on. I believe this is unprecedented area. We haven't witnessed in a very long time a team of expectations that are very high. So this March and April is different. I don't think this is a team that's going to look at winning 50 games, whether we win 50 or not. I don't think it matters. I think it's the same team if we won 58 games or if we won 48 games, it's going to be the same team, and they're going to just sit with that. I think the biggest situation is Mike Brown's math problem he's going to have in April and trying to figure out what it's going to be. Because that math, that's what complicated Tibbs. Tibbs wasn't going to do no complicated math rotations and all that. I think Mike Brown has the stamina, but that's his challenge. And I don't care what team you have out there, because there ain't no dynasty running around in the NBA. Game 1 of whatever that playoff is going to be in round 1, everything's off the board. And I think the Knicks have that type of team that all of a sudden is going to turn up.
Yeah, yep. I agree.
I believe, look, Detroit, the head comes off. If Cade comes, small injury or whatever, head comes off of that, they ain't going to be nothing. Cleveland is still soft. Boston is enthusiastic right now. We can't think about none of these teams. You look in the playoffs and who happens to pop up with a surprise every year? Miami, of all teams. All of a sudden you find out, how the hell are they beating the paint off of a team? So in the playoffs, anything can happen. But I think we got the squad that can probably turn a switch on quicker than a lot of these squads out there. And I know that ain't the thing that makes everybody happy, and that's the thing that we don't want to rely upon. But I think with the Knicks, we have to figure out what preserves the bodies instead of the minds, because I think their minds could switch on. If you hurt, you injured, you can't switch on your body. And we got mileage on our players. So I'm looking at that as how they got to figure out how to coast and not get hurt. And usually maybe that's not the way to look at things, but their minds are going to switch on. Their bodies got to be preserved. So I don't know. Maybe Mike Brown is figuring out, I'm gonna juggle these numbers and look at see what preservation has at the end of the equation of the regular season. This is an unprecedented area, man. And I've been watching this team for so long, and I know that how often do we get to a March or April where we can start to use the word boredom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a little like complacency in there, but I think game one, whatever playoff they're gonna play, is gonna be on. The thing I do regret in closing, when you have a lower record, then you're not talking about home court advantage. And I think this is gonna be the first year in a long time, maybe since the pandemic, because we got to count the pandemic, where home court starts to matter more. For the last couple of years, they were kind of like aberrations. Like you don't know who's going to win, even if you got home court. Now I think home court starts to like be more of a factor. I have a just have a guess that this year teams are going to need that home court advantage.
There you go. Well, as the rhyme animal said, ladies and gentlemen, stay patient, man. Stay patient. I do. I do believe. I do believe that. What
are you going to do? What are you going to do, CP?
Yeah.
We got to sit through March and April anyway, and then get ready for the first game of the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, listen, they have a ton of winnable games ahead of them, man. Ton of winnable games.
Yeah.
To get back right.
Yes.
And get on track, and we'll see. As it relates to the 2 seed, we'll see. We'll see, man. I'm still holding out for April 9th.
I like to say, well, I'm fading now, but I have never seen major NBA media so flip-floppy all year long. Maybe it's because they gotta cover something, but every day these cats is changing their mind. It's nerve-wracking, it's disgusting, turning my stomach.
Yeah.
All right, I salute y'all.
I appreciate you, man.